I'm Bob Conley. I'm a member of Crossroads Church for the past year and a half. I grew up believing in God, and there was always a period where I believed in Him. And then I started going to church every week, and it was a part of my life. But then events happened, and I eventually found myself so far away from Him that I felt hypocritical if I went to church. So that was at the point then I just felt I needed to walk completely away from everything, from my wife and from Christ, and just live a life that didn't have Him as part of it. It was during this period I was taking a walk, a physical walk through a path in the woods only time in my whole life that I literally heard a voice say, "Turn around and come back." And so that is what I did on that day. I turned around and I started my journey back to God. It took some time, and I remember coming back and I was literally living in another state completely. So when I came back, my goal was just to stay close to God every step of the way. And so every morning I would take a walk and I would talk with God. And I remember having lunch with one of my friends, and he said, "How are you going to get Cindy, your wife, back?" And I said, "This is how I'm going to do it. Every day I'm going to go walk and talk with God. And I'm going to ask Him one question: God, are you and I okay?" And it wasn't just to flip it, "Are we okay?" It was, "Am I being the man, God, you created me to be?" And so I told him that at lunch, that's what I'm going to do. And I can say after 3 months, my wife and I reconciled, and I was living back in our home. And from that point forward, every day I go and take that same walk. And I ask God, "God, are you and I okay? And am I being the man you want me to be?" And each day He has just showed me more and more of how to grow closer to Him by taking these walks. And so every morning I get up and I have my cup of coffee first, and then when I go on my journey, I would read Scripture and take a walk thinking of Him. And through these walks and through these talks with God, He has shown me a few things that have really changed my life. And every morning I used to write out my to-do list of things that I need to accomplish that day. And He challenged me to start writing out my to-be list. Who is it I'm going to be, where I'm going to go that day in the world, and how am I going to impact it? So who am I going to be when I go out to live, work, and play? And so each day I start writing out my to-be list before I write out my to-do list. So every day I still just go and I take my walks and I talk with God. And it has changed my life, realizing that He's the center and I get to be a part of what He's doing in this world.